Today's video is dumb and pointless and frankly serves no real purpose. But I'm gonna do it anyway because a lot of you guys have asked, since the M2 MacBook Pro didn't change literally anything compared to the M1, can you upgrade an M1 MacBook Pro to an M2 MacBook Pro? In other words, can you swap the logic boards between these two generations? Well, today we're gonna find out. So get subscribed, leave a like down below. I'm really excited. Let's get into it. Oh man. Covering the new M2 chips has been exhausting. I've been basically testing around the clock, but fortunately, today's video sponsor Shaker and Spoon is a monthly cocktail subscription service that delivers exactly what I need to unwind after a long day. Each Shaker and Spoon box comes with everything you need to make delicious mixed drinks based around one spirit. For today, my girlfriend and I made the Vodka Brunch box, which included the Slow Rush, the Weekender, and Blood and Sage, delicious renditions of a Bloody Mary, a vodka orange, and mocha-inspired drink. Our box included everything from spritzer orange oil to chocolate mole bitters to blood orange Meyer lemon ginger ale and cherry vanilla cold brew syrup, all delicious ingredients that I never would have thought to buy individually. The instructions were clear and easy to follow, and the drinks were simply delicious. Exactly what I needed after days of testing. If you want to try Shaker and Spoon today, check out the link in the description below and use code LUKE to get $20 off your subscription. And now let's get back to the video. Okay, so simple premise, M1 MacBook Pro over here, M2 MacBook Pro over here. Can you take the logic board out of the M2 MacBook Pro and put it in an M1 chassis and boot it up? I'm assuming the answer is going to be yes, but honestly, you never know with Apple. They do like their shenanigans. As I'm always saying, it isn't an apple without some shkabapple. What? Anyway, let's go ahead and shut these guys down, and we're going to whip out the ProTech toolkit and get into it. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the M1 MacBook Pro. It's going to be pretty easy to tell these screws apart because they're color-coded. Oh God, the notoriously difficult opening procedure. Here it comes. Got a slider on the side. We got two clips on either end. There we go. Lift up, middle clips. There they go. And then slide out. Boom, look at that. I've done this like 100 times. I want to open up the M2 and see if there's anything different on the inside. Oh, hey. Alert, alert, difference. I found a difference. On the M2 MacBook Pro, I don't know if you can see this, they use yellow thread locker instead of blue thread locker. Wow. Okay, so looking back and forth here, I'm only seeing one difference. I'll give you 2 seconds to spot it. Leave a comment down below if you catch it. All right, did you see it? Because what it is the flash memory. So over here we have two. I'm gonna assume that these are two 128 gigabyte modules, whereas over here there's just the one. So I guess Apple is using 256 gigabyte modules now, and that way going to 512 just means solder another one on there. So let's move on to the next step and take the logic board out of the M1. Damn, that is weird. I have never seen one of these like hexagonal screws, but you gotta take one of those out to take out this logic board. That almost got me. You almost got me, Apple. But I'm too smart, and the ProTech toolkit had the exact socket weird bit that I needed, so get pranked. Oh, Apple, you sneaky little bugger. Why must you put weird little foam covers over the antenna and a hidden screw? There it is. The M1 logic board. It is freaking tiny. I mean, this is not, a tiny laptop on the level of a 12-inch MacBook, but this logic board is really small, really clean, and really, really thin. I mean, look at it. Wow. Now, at this point, many of you might be wondering, Luke, why would anyone want to do this? And to that I say, shut up, stop asking stupid questions and watch the video. Okay, so takeaways after now doing 2 logic boards on Apple Silicon MacBook Pros. If you do follow along, there's a lot of ZIF connectors. So one of Apple's favorite tools is essentially a ribbon cable that terminates in some open pins and it slides into a little connector. It's called the ZIF connector, and they are all over Apple products, and they are a pain in the butt because they're really fragile and they can snap off. So you're gonna need a spudger, and you have to make sure that you get every single one of them, because by my counting, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, oh, and then 9. One more that I missed. 9 ZIF connectors on this logic board. Ta-da! How about that? So now we get the moment of truth. Can I take our M2 logic board and put it into the M1 chassis? Now, the challenging part about reassembling a MacBook is getting the logic board underneath all of those 9 ZIF connectors and all the other plugs and stuff here. It's a bit challenging, so let's see if I can pull it off. We're gonna go in by sliding the top, like so. That way we get under here, 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 and here. Okay, that's good so far. We'll use our little spudger here to hold some of the other ZIF connectors out. Okay, I think we're in. I think that's everything. Let's go around the board before plugging anything in, before putting in any screws, and we're gonna count up. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, 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 yes. And cue the plugging stuff in montage. Well, go on, what are you waiting for? Well, let's put the bottom case on and give it a shot. Why not? Moment of truth. What will happen? Nothing. So the only thing I can think of here is that maybe we should actually switch over the Touch ID button, which I didn't do here. That's gonna be a bit of a pain in the butt to do though. Oh my god, this sucks, dude. Holy sh**. I honestly don't know what to say at this point. I have double, triple, and quadruple checked every single connection on here. I've swapped over the Touch ID button from the M2, so it's the correct matching one. I even tried using Apple Configurator to try to get this thing in DFU mode and restore it. There is absolutely nothing. So that sucks. I guess the only thing left to do now would be to switch the boards back and the Touch ID boards as well and see if it works then. Huh. Okay. Well, that was weird. As you can see, the MacBooks are back to their original configurations, And I honestly have no explanation for what we saw today. It's really, really weird. I tried every combination I could think of. I held down the power button. I plugged in the charger while holding down the power button. I plugged in the charger while not doing anything. I used DFU mode. Nothing. It is extremely, extremely weird. And once I set everything back to normal and put the M2 logic board back in the M2 chassis, I plugged it into power and boom, it fired right up. And then I even connected the M1's Touch ID button just to see if that would prevent it from starting up, and it didn't. It still started with the wrong Touch ID button installed. So I'm completely lost on this. I mean, why wouldn't it work? What is different about these parts? I don't really see anything that should prevent it from booting up, and yet it wouldn't. The only thing I can really think of after doing some digging is this tweet by Hector Martin, which mentions a new keyboard and trackpad interface. So I guess it's possible that the top cases are actually different somehow. Now, I don't anticipate this being a massive issue because, I mean, how many people realistically need to upgrade from M1 to M2? I mean, you can't even get just the logic board for the M2 yet, and even when you can, it's gonna be so expensive that you might as well sell your M1 and just buy one of these outright. So it's not exactly a realistic scenario. The only time where I could think of this being something that you would want to try is, you know, a couple years down the line if your M1 MacBook Pro has, you know, a logic board failure, or you get water damage or something like that, and you say, hey, if I'm going to replace the logic board, I might as well upgrade, then maybe you would want to do this, but for now, it's a mystery. And the answer to the question of what happens if you try to upgrade your MacBook from M1 to M2 is nothing. Doesn't work. You know what does work though? The subscribe button and the like button. Go ahead and hit both of those, and I will see you guys in the next video.